This is the KIWI Ears AIROSO, probably the first mid-range boosted IEM I've ever tested. Most IEMs that you get have a V-shaped tuning, be it mild or harsh, but most of the time, mids are left out, without any boost or amplification. It's not the case with this set though. KIWI Ears does their tunings really well, and you can tell as most of the time, there are no drowned out frequencies, regardless of the boost they do on low ends or highs. But this one is a really special IEM that made me go, they did it again. For newbies, you may find that the vocals are amplified on this set. For the trained ears, you may find that there's a boost around the frequencies in the upper mid-range in the 2K region. Personally, I loved it and I truly believe that this was priced at around $200-ish. Until I checked the KIWI Ears website and was blown away. Hi, I'm Daniel with the Biboyharanero team. We've been reviewing keyboards, mice, and audio gear since 2019, so consider subscribing and be updated with our new video releases. The KIWI Ears AIROSO has a total of 5 drivers in each earbud. You get 1 dynamic driver assigned to the low end, and another 4 balanced armature drivers assigned to the other frequencies. I couldn't find any information as to how big the dynamic driver is, but if I had to guess, it would be a 10mm. If I am wrong, I will leave a pinned comment down below. Impedance is rated at 18 ohms, so it's not that difficult to drive. However, the box shows 15 ohms, but this is not a big deal. In fact, I'm not sure which is which. I also think that this IEM would fit most ears given its shape, but let's go over that in more detail. Inside the box, you get the earbuds, cable, case, and 3 sets of ear tips with 3 pairs each. The ear tips are all made of silicone, but they're not the same in terms of build, as someone would find the black ones or white ones more comfortable than the gray ones. I personally have no preference between white, black, or gray, as this would depend highly on the IEM you're pairing it with. And since we're already talking about ear tips, I did get a good seal on all of them, but with a twist. I think that the nozzle on this set is a little too forward for me given my ear shape, and it's not very comfortable having it piercing deep inside your ear. With that said, I would highly recommend that you pair this with shallow ear tips, one that wouldn't go all the way in your ear. So I paired this with wide bore tips that I had in stock and did my tests from here. The carrying case to me is fine though, but it's not crush resistant and it's what you usually get on KIWI Ears boxes. The cable is just okay, though it's not something I would say is very premium. Though it is an OFC cable and terminates to a 3.5mm TRS. Now, onto the IEM itself, it's average in size but definitely on the heavier side. Most IEMs that I've tried in the past have about an average weight of 6 grams each, but this one is rated at 12 grams. But that isn't bothering, as my ears aren't that weak to feel the weight. This has a metal faceplate, which I believe is titanium based on the information I got from the website. Then you also get a resin shell matched with that. Onto ventilations, this has one near the nozzle and another on the faceplate, though I'm not sure if this is an actual vent. So for the most interesting part, sound. I am bass sensitive, and heavy, rumbly bass cause listening fatigue to me. But so far, even with a bass boost on the AIROSO, I didn't find it fatiguing even after hours of use. However, this may be due to me testing out other heavy bass sets in the past week, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Then, I am also not treble sensitive though. Even with sparkly, shiny trebles, I am able to crank up volumes. So now you know my biases and preferences. Let's go over what I hear from this set. I already mentioned that this has a V-shaped tuning, though it's not aggressive. Then, upon first try, I immediately noticed the boosted upper mid-range as the vocals in the mixes that I play sounded more prominent. I listen to a lot of country music and a lot of rock music, which can get busy with a lot of instruments playing in the background. But regardless of how busy tracks can get, vocals and even second voices are very easy to pick out. This also translates into music with really good body and a more even, balanced tuning throughout the frequencies. This also makes guitar solos sound more boosted along with vocals, but they do not overshadow each other. With that said, this shines very much so for country music or rock music. Regardless of the boosted upper mid-range, I never heard any nasalness or shoutiness to vocals, and this is a usual thing you could expect from KIWI Ears tunings. These guys really do know how to tune audio gear for a wide variety of use cases. The trebles or highs in general are also pleasurable to my ear. They aren't sibilant or overly sparkly. However, I already mentioned I am not treble sensitive. So what may be comfortable for me might be overly sparkly to another ear. Onto the low ends, I love the texture of the punches from this set. It works really well with the boosted upper mid-range, adding more foundation or support to the overall mix for lack of better word. And it is at the level I would deem bass head compatible thanks to the texture of the bass, which also does not sound hollow. The rumbles have very good depth to them and it doesn't sound growly and fatiguing. I personally love the tuning on this set, which I was able to blend with in an instant. Most of the time, I have to spend a good 2 to 3 hours to get used to new tunings of IEMs, but not with this set. Now, with the boosted upper mid-range, how does this equate to situations like gaming? Well, if you play a lot of open world games and story rich games where there are lots of dialogues, this will make voices more boosted. Human voices are naturally positioned in the upper mid range, and this allows you to hear dialogues better versus other sets. But I'm not saying that other sets will do a bad job with dialogues. I mean, it's a universal thing. And I think all audio gear is able to project that based on experience. But yeah, you just get better, more amplified dialogues from the AIROSO. For first-person shooter games, this will equate in better, more boosted callouts. When speaking with my buddies over at Discord while playing shooter games, this set will very so slightly boost their voices. However, I did not find this unusual or weird in any way. What's important to me is that the low mids aren't drowned out in the mix because usually that is where footsteps are positioned. With that said, layering, sound separation, and positional audio was implemented on this set very well. I really love the tuning on this set, and I think KIWI Ears nailed it again. It's got a tuning I've never heard before on other IEMs. Now, I'm leaving links in the description below on where to get your KIWI Ears AIROSO. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Check out my other reviews for KIWI Ears as well. There are lots on my channel. Bye-bye.